How much does it cost to build a parking garage is a very common question that many people find themselves lingering about, barely finding any answers. To begin with, these are areas or places set aside for the purpose of leaving cars and vehicles in case one will not be using it full time. Houses, where people park their cars, not necessarily for mending, but just a bit of leisure. For this reason, therefore, some individuals set up these places with many reasons in mind. Establishment of such an area or place is not done out of nowhere. A few factors have into consideration to be in a position to determine the appropriateness of the project in place. The most important and vital factor is cost. This mostly concerns the requirement and need of capital. This is very important in the commencement of any project. For this case, capital is very essential, since every process of this requires a lot of cash. To begin with, appropriate land has to be purchased. It may go for more cash, depending on its size and availability. The more available it is, the better, since not much is incurred. However, if a huge plot is required, then you can be sure to spend loads of capital on acquiring the piece of land. The purchase can also be of high cost if the owner prefers a plot that is attractive to many people. Far from purchase of land, the project may also require construction of some few structures, like shade and parking bays. With this, a lot of cost will be incurred, considering that each vehicle has to have its own area. This will really cost for quite some good cash. In addition to this, each automobile has to have a specific place for resting, hence the sizes of the bays have to be different, bearing in mind that all vehicles are of different makes and sizes. Bearing in mind that these garages accommodate vehicles worth of millions, security is an issue of concern. This adds up to the total cost, since surveillance equipment like cameras have to be purchased. Security personnel like soldiers and guards also have to be recruited to enhance security. The installation of the cameras also requires special technicians, whose wage is very high. Being a new place of work, special guidance equipment has to be installed. This involves posters to show direction. Most of them have to be use of neon lights, which are really a good amount of money. Placing of these items also requires specialized technicians to execute the task, and their wages relatively high. Undoubtedly, this is an activity that requires adequate and proper preparedness in terms of finances, since it is very capital intensive. Inadequate preparation can see the whole idea turn into a dream. In connection to this, more than $500 can be spent to complete the undertaking, or even more depending on the owner's needs. The idea of how much it costs in build a parking garage can only be answered by determining the amount of funds required for the whole undertaking. This is very vital during the establishment of such a project,